It's time for Macon and Eggs. Good morning. I'm Leah Fleming, Charles Richardson, editorial page editor over at the Telegraph, back in studio.
Good morning.
All right, this is hot topic number one. It is our only hot topic for today. Such a large one, though. We need to talk about it. The country is continuing to grapple with the recent shooting deaths of 2 African-American men last week, as well as 5 police officers that were shot to death out of Texas. This has really caused this issue to once again come to the surface. It's been an issue, of course, that many people have been dealing with for centuries, but it has really bubbled up and caused a lot of emotion. There are many opinions as to how the country should move forward in dealing with this. What has been the response in Macon? I know there were a couple of Black Lives Matter protests that were happening.
There have been, I wouldn't even call them protests. I'd call them open dialogues where the community had some opportunity to speak. One was at First Baptist Church. One of them was in front of City Hall. I think everybody is grappling with what to say and how to express their emotion. We fortunately live in an area where we don't have the same share of community conflicts that many areas of the country have. But quite frankly, that's of recent occurrence. We don't have to go back very far to a time in Macon where people were shot and by police. But fortunately, those days, at least here, are gone, or they're gone for a time. I think there's a more respect for the community by the officers and more respect by the officers of the community. And that's always comes from leadership. It always comes from more training. It also comes from the deputies getting out of their cars and walking those communities, having those relationships with people in the community.
Yes, Sheriff David Davis has been very active in walking the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has a philosophy of his department, as his office, being a protector, not a warrior. Now, they can go to war if they have to, but it's against the criminals that are attacking the community, not against the community. Something that just a vision that stuck in my head when all this started happening. I remember General Honore, after the Katrina flood, he comes in and he tells the National Guardsmen, put those guns down. They're pointing them at the citizens there. He said, put those guns down, because they were pointing in the wrong direction. You know,
these were the victims.
These are the victims. You're pointing them at the wrong people. You don't have to fear these people. So I think that dialogue has to continue. Nationally, the tone of our conversations has gotten to the point where it's just brittle from at all levels. Our presidential election is brittle. Our state elections are brittle. Our conversations on Facebook or Twitter or all this other stuff is brittle. Our comments on our pages in the newspaper are brittle. People feel they can say or talk or do anything. So when this all came to pass, I can't say I was surprised, because that's what happens. We have people that aren't right. They're not straight in the head. And it was just a matter of time before somebody was going to do this, because they're not right in the head. We've got people that have come back from wars that are just not right. And we have a VA system that is not responding to needs of our veterans, and they're just not right.